Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I'm still upset about yesterday's A Day Without Women protest, march all over the world. So, I want to read this article and talk a little bit about it. Hopefully, I can get through it to the end and we'll take it from there. So, here we go. Alexandria, Virginia. Public schools closing for a day without women. Alexandria. I wonder if that's the same Alexandria from The Walking Dead, right? Okay. Continuing on. CNN. That's Crappy News Network. More than 300 staff members at Alexandria City Public Schools have requested leave for a day without women this Wednesday, prompting school closure for the day. Oh, you are fired, bitch. Don't even think about coming back here. You walked out on a position of leadership of children. You abandoned them when a whole system was relying upon you. You walked out, the whole system had to close down, the kids had to pay the price, all for your petty personal grievances. You're fired, bitch. Okay, I'm sorry. So I couldn't make it through, the article. That was very unprofessional of me. Let's just continue on. Given the unusually high number of requests, this may be attributed to the observance of International Women's Day. This day has also been deemed a day without women. Consequently, ACPS has decided to close schools for students for the day, Superintendent Alvin L. Crawley said in a statement sent to parents and posted on the ACPS website Monday. Alvin L. Crawley. I wonder if he's related to Aleister Crowley. Probably not. Continuing on. Crowley emphasized that the school system located just south of Washington, D.C. is not closing to make a political statement, but rather because of inadequate staffing. Yeah, I wonder what would have happened if, he had had men working in those positions. Continuing. The decision is based solely on our ability to provide sufficient staff to cover all of our classrooms and the impact of high staff absenteeism on student safety and delivery of instruction. It is not based on a political stance or position, the statement said. Okay, well, I believe him, Yeah, they didn't have the staff to do the job, to even look after the children. Of course they had to close. Alexandria schools, this is a tweet. Not everybody's watching this on YouTube. Some people are, getting this just straight from the podcast feed from the Howard Dare Studios. So this is a tweet from Alexandria schools. Calendar update. All ACPS schools closed this Wednesday, March 8th. Yeah, they had to close them all down. There are 16 schools within the Alexandria system and 1,415 teachers, according to its website. Despite the closure, ACPS will provide students with breakfast and lunch at 6 of its school locations. Yeah, that's right, okay? Because the mothers can't even feed their own kids. They won't even feed their own kids without the state stepping in. That's what kind of mothers they are. Okay, so when women say, I'm a modern woman, I can do it all right? They can't even feed their kids. So when they say, I'm a woman and, we're equal, they can't even feed their kids. They won't even feed their kids. And they don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? And they're pissed off that the government isn't going to do it while they go off to protest and shit. It's like, there's never been a group of more entitled, privileged princess bitches throughout the history of mankind, right? And it's bringing down the greatest civilization that mankind has ever known as well, right? All because the men can't say no to the women because they're so hot and the men are so, hungry for sex. I'm sorry, that's a little off topic. Very unprofessional of me. Continuing on. Organized by the team behind the Women's March on Washington, A Day Without Women is a strike for equality, justice, and the human rights of women and all gender-oppressed people through a one-day demonstration of economic solidarity. Oh, a one-day demonstration. Oh, I think you lack the courage of your convictions, ma'am. I think this should be an everyday affair. And further, I don't think a single woman involved in this should use any resources created, maintained, invented by any man. So I don't see how you can actually engage in this type of behavior and then still use the roads created by men, and still use the electricity created by men, and still use the plumbing system created by men, and not be a complete hypocrite, right? You're standing up and you're saying, oh, we don't need men. I hate men. Oh, I'm not even going to go do my job to look after my own children or the children for the, that I've been hired to take care of. Nah, 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 nah. We hate men. Meanwhile, your entire existence is based on the sacrifice of men. You hypocritical, privileged, entitled bitches. And unless men can recognize this shit and say, how dare you bitches act like this? You're fired. Don't come back. Can't promote you ever. Because to promote you is to promote somebody into a position of responsibility and authority over children who will walk away for personal grievances. We have to fire a person like that as an example of leadership and of adult responsibility. You can't incentivize this type of behavior. That's just my opinion. Okay. Yeah, and so this is arranged by the same people who, did the Women's March on Washington, which it's basically a Muslim woman, right? So, yeah. Great. All the women and all the minorities should band together. Yeah, I guess who they're banding against, Now they're even banding against their own children. Okay. Here's the sign, the advertisement, the graphic. A day without women. What is that? Oh, the O of women is like a woman's face. March 8th, 2017. Wear red in solidarity. Do not engage in paid and unpaid work. Avoid spending money. Hashtag a day without women. www.womensmarch.com. Women's March. Here's the tweet from them. On 1/21, we marched. On 3/8, we strike. Join us in making March 8th a day without women. Women's March. That was their tweet. Okay. Women are encouraged to take the day off, avoid shopping, with the exception of small women and minority-owned businesses, and wear red in solidarity per the Women's Movement March website. So there it is, stated explicitly, okay? This is against white men, okay? Explicit. Don't shop at businesses owned by white men. So the white women school teachers are going to go and join in. Thanks, ladies. Thanks, right? So it's every single group against white men. And when you go into my comments section and you tell me that I'm being unfair to women, just understand, and it's really not just against white men, it's really not. It's against all men that are responsible, decent, law-abiding men who have personal responsibility, personal integrity, and are trying to build themselves up in a free nation. That's what it's against. And it's against the women who are pursuing those goals as well. And all the people who are pursuing those goals as well, in favor of this communistic, identity politics. I'm sorry. I thought I would be able to just get through the whole thing. Millions showed up for January's march in the nation's capital and similar events across the world. Wednesday will be a test of the movement's lasting impact. Alexandria isn't the only school system closing Wednesday. Last week, Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools in North Carolina canceled March 8 classes, citing a significant number of teachers participating in the strike. Here's a tweet from CHCCS. Has designated Wednesday, March 8th, a teacher work day and canceled the 3/9 delayed opening. For details, go to. No. While Chapel Hill Charborough City Schools values and supports its female employees, the decision to close schools is not a political statement. It is entirely about the safety of students and the district's inability to operate with a high number of staff absences, a Superintendent Jim Cosby wrote in a statement. Okay, so, that's the brief article that I wanted to read. And, of course, not so brief, huh? Yeah, because I had to express myself throughout the article, and I challenge you, right, to come out, to come onto YouTube and to make videos about situations like this and not lose it along the way. I mean, you want another, slap in the face? We are paying these bitches salaries. That's right. Tax dollars pay for them to do this. That's right. How do you like that? How do you like that? Hire somebody to do a job that they're not really qualified to do. They fail to do the job. Then they actually walk off of the job, abandoning the job without any regard to the hardship that it will cause. And they're protesting you, the man who set this whole thing up and is paying their salary. And you could replace them with somebody who would actually do the job and take the whole thing seriously. Men. And then women could go back to taking care of their children. Now you're hearing this and you're thinking, oh, Howard, that's terrible. What a traditional patriarchal view you've got there. Bullshit. This is a biological view. This is, you want to let the women look after the young children. You want to do that, but they can't. They won't. They're not qualified. They're not emotionally stable enough. They don't have the character and the integrity to do it, okay? And they're not examples of good, healthy human beings anymore. This entitlement, this welfare state, this grievance culture has created monsters out of them. It's created spoiled children out of them. That's what's running our government. That's what this whole Hillary Clinton, we hate Donald Trump thing is about. And it's about hating men. So when you people are saying, oh, well, I don't like these guys harping on about Trump. Bullshit. Because they're attacking men, okay? That's what the issue is. And I hope you... Just let me reread this section, okay? Women are encouraged to take the day off, avoid shopping, with exceptions for small woman and minority-owned businesses. And wear red in solidarity per the Women's March website. Okay? It's a racist, sexist, bigoted movement. And it's against men. It's just that it's against men. So, ruling men. Not necessarily white men, just men that, have authority. It's intersectional feminism. All right? It's the most vile aspect of human behavior. It's the aspect that the same men that you're attacking, these are the men who have banished this from the world. So now you want to rip these men down. That's the message of MGTOW. That's the main message, from a political, social point of view. That's what's going on, okay? So why don't the bitches take off every day from their jobs where the taxpayers are paying the salaries and abandon the children every day, okay, where the children get no instruction, they get no food, and these bitches just whine and complain because they are not in charge of everything. That's what's going on. I really don't want these women going back to school today and then looking at the small white boys and saying, go sit in the back of the classroom. You're the reason why this is all going wrong. When the truth is the reason why this is all going wrong is because these women and this kind of grievance class, view of the world, they're not taking any personal responsibility in their own life. And now the consequences of those poor decisions, they're actually blaming on the men within the culture and the good people within the culture that in society that are trying to do a good job and are trying to express freedom and find their dreams and build, as opposed to just blaming people for their failures and trying to get a free handout, right? So these bitches should be on strike every day so that their true nature and their true character can be revealed. And I don't like them going back in there and saying, oh yeah, but it's all cool now. It's not all cool now. You abandoned your charge. You walked off on the children because you hate a certain group of them. That isn't right. And now everything is okay and you're going to treat them all fairly? No, you're not. But we have to pretend. And this is part of the problem that we face as men, all right, is that we're in a society that hates our guts and says, hey, don't shop at their businesses. Don't give them fair treatment in business or the economy. Don't do that. But we're all equal and we're all friends. And I hope that the men will be really cool and continue to maintain the roads and keep up the electrical system. And the men will. That's how the men are. Right? And I'm saying to you that that attitude of a man, of, looking the other way in the face of this absolute betrayal from women, or at least this aspect of society that, that is controlled through the media, it's a poisonous, toxic, diabolical, individual, life-destroying, civilization-destroying ideology. And it's aimed directly at men. Men are asked to exist in two worlds. One where women smile at them and talk about egalitarianism and equality and women's rights and how they're oppressed. And the men don't understand that they're blaming the men, they're blaming the boys. The whole culture is turned against the men and the boys. The women won't even do their jobs. All they do is indulge their hate and make their... But, I have this kind of view on things. So let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.